Hey everyone, thanks so much for coming back for part two. In this video, we are going to be talking about the new PR team for the Sussexes. So, welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner for over 35 years. We'd love to take a look at the royals and celebrities and politics and all kinds of great stuff over here. So, if you're a new viewer, welcome. I hope you will subscribe. And if you are one of my oldies but goodies, thanks so much for being here. It's my favorite part of the day, and I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are great. You're a terrific community, and I just love every minute of this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful. So let's take a look at what's going on here right after the intro. Welcome back, Tarot fam. So just to recap, this is part two to the Sussexes' new comms team, their new PR team. You can look at video part one, where we discuss Charlie Gibson, who is the UK contingency for contingency, is that the right word? For the Sussexes' new PR team. They are still going to be reporting to Ashley Hansen. But on the other side of the pond, we have an individual named Kyle Bolia. I think I finally got it right. Kyle Bolia has previously worked for United Talent Agency. He's handled talent, sports, entertainment individuals. So he is very well versed and a very neat addition to this team. So we're going to take a look at what kind of job he has ahead of him. What's the reason for it? What's the strategy? And how it's going to affect Meghan and Harry individually. So again, please like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't watched part one, you can scoot on over there and watch part one, and then come on over and watch part two. So let's see what is going on. So first things first, what kind of job does Mr. Kyle have ahead of him in the United States to deal with the Sussexes, and who is his most challenging client? We're going to see who's the bigger problem. Ace of Cups, Page of Pentacles in reverse, Temperance in reverse. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger just so you guys can see it. Get some more real estate there. There we go. Nice and big. I know these cards are hard to see sometimes, especially when I get crazy and I start putting a lot out. So again, we're focused on the United States, the PR in the United States. They're going to be working together, but this is how Kyle is going to handle the United States. So one of the problems, and we did see this in the other one, is that we're bleeding money. We've got to figure out a way to reinvest in the image of both of these individuals without breaking the bank. So that's going to be the trick. He's going to downplay some of the talents and the things that they do. He wants to put that on the back burner. I think, again, this is like an oversaturation kind of situation. They really want to reinvent some mystery behind these two, and not the kind of mystery that we have with certain progeny from them. So he wants them to fade into the background for a little bit, just a bit too much out there. He needs to reinvigorate a love for these two. So he is looking for the things that people did like about them, the things that people were attracted to, the things that people were originally focused on when they started dating. So he's having some trouble finding those seeds and having trouble finding seeds of that are going to be the antidote to the negative press and the negative posturing that they have to date. So it looks like he's got quite the job ahead of him. The opinions of this union are failing in the United States, quite frankly, with the comments about the First Amendment being bonkers, which I think Harry meant the Second Amendment, but talking about the First Amendment being bonkers, and then working with the Aspen Institute, trying to quiet some voices online, trying to create an environment where the voices that are online, the common voices, are sanitized, is probably not the best thing to try and do in the United States, since much of our culture is built on freedom of speech. So I do think he's got quite a trick here. There's a lot of ideas that they are going to throw onto the table, onto the boardroom table, see if we can execute them. But the main thing, I think, is getting nostalgic and going back to the United Kingdom. I think there is going to be a suggestion that that is really the best thing they can do to rebuild the branding there and then get them back to the United Kingdom, because this flash and cash lifestyle in the United States has not worked. This I'm saying intellectually, I'm saying intuitively, I don't think it's going to go over very well. So let's see. That's his biggest challenge, is that really, I think the only thing he's going to see is a return to some castle somewhere in Northern England. It's not going to be that beach lifestyle that Meghan wanted, that super fancy Montecito lifestyle. So what is his strategy going to be? Well, correction. What is the reason that he was added? What is he bringing to the table? What is he bringing to the table? I'm immediately getting, and I didn't do the research on his former clientele, but he was successful at turning someone's career around, someone with some negative information. And I do think that it was a sports person. I'm not sure who this was. I'm not really a big fan of sports, but he was successful at turning someone around. That was really the line on his CV that made a lot of sense to the powers that be. And they said, yeah, this is a guy that we want. He's somebody who can turn the beat around for us. His past successes were not necessarily because he is super gifted. This wasn't like a super creative thing. What he did was he buried some stuff. He buried negative information. And I think that that's why he's so appealing to this particular union. Is it the best plan? Not necessarily, but it is a plan that worked in the past. He is hopeful. He's very, very positive attitude about turning this around and getting them to the point where they can do new projects, but it's going to take some time. We have with our strength card here, this is going to take some time. They can't expect him to correct the image in 5 to 7 days. It's just not going to happen. They got to go to sleep for like 7-8 months. They got to disappear, drop a couple of things here and there. Maybe, let it leak out that they made a donation. Let it leak out that they did something really amazing. He has a number of ideas, but the plan is actually going to be executed in steps. That's really what he wants to do. He needs to rebuild that. So the reason they've got him there is because he's done this before. He's corrected people's mistakes before. So let's look at his strategy. See what that strategy is going to be. Ease up with the charity stuff. Reconnect with the king. Stop with the emotional outbursts. And don't look so desperate. So he does not want them to look desperate and like they are flailing for attention. It's not working. It's unlikable. We're not enjoying it. We're not impressed. We're not impressed. And under here, he wants the work to be out of the public eye. So no more visits to Uvalde with the camera crew. No more showing up spontaneously at a theater with a camera crew. No more showing up in Jamaica dressed in a crazy ball gown that no one asked her to wear. Everything needs to be much more low key. Trips to the grocery store, just go to the grocery store. Show up every now and then. You don't have to make a spectacle of yourself. For someone who claimed that she did not want the wedding to be a spectacle and it was a spectacle, she's making a spectacle of herself every time she rears her head. So we really need to stop this. I'm going to just jump out for 1 second. I've got a list of questions here. But what did Mr. Kyle Bolia think of this jam jar thing? Jam on it, jam on it, jam on it. What did he think of this jam thing? What is his opinion of the jam thing? It was a bad idea. It is not making people like her. It is furthering and locking her in. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. It is not going to work. He is not surprised. He wants her to shut this down. We're not making jam for our friends anymore. So yeah, there we go. Kyle is not a fan of that. Not a fan of jam. He's not a jam fan. So what is he going to do? Let's stick with Meghan for a minute since we're stuck in the jam. What is he going to do for her? What is the strategy? What is the strategy? Specifically for Meghan. Stop with the princess stuff. Stop with the new ideas. She is, unfortunately, and I'm not being mean, I swear I'm not being mean. He thinks that she is like a bored housewife who's like, I'm going to become an interior designer. Or an interior decorator. I'm going to become a hairdresser for a little while. Now I'm going to write a novel. Now I'm going to do this, and nothing ever gets done. Nothing ever yields any wealth, any traction. Nothing ever happens. It's like ideas out on the world stage. He wants her to stay at home. Now, is her feminist personality going to like that? Who knows? But I think he is going to craft an illusion where she kind of disappears, and every now and then, she shows up. There's something about her Instagram showing her, and this is going to be something he's going to say, your Instagram needs to be your personal Instagram with you and your children. You need to show you and your children having fun over the summer. Every now and then, like 4th of July, like we're at the pool with their friends, full faces, full red, white, and blue regalia. He's going to suggest that. How is that going to go? I don't think it's going to go very well. I think there's going to be some discussion about that. I think Harry is going to get involved. How is promoting the idea of being more public about the children in a measured doses out to the public? How is that going to go? We're just going to do 3 cards here. It's the idea that will work. She is not going to want to do it, and potentially will fire him. So Kyle, I'm sorry, potentially that could get you fired if you start talking about promoting the kids. So what is his plan for Harry? How is he going to correct Harry's image here in the United States? Because that has taken some damage with the business of immigration, possibly getting pushed to the front of the line, possibly having a visa that is leveraging his professional or his accident of birth. So how is he going to correct him here in the United States? The book was a problem. So one of the things that he will suggest is that Harry celebrate the becoming of an American, the wonderful things about being an American, the exciting things. So far, he's just kind of complained about it. He complained about the First Amendment. Again, I think he was complaining about the Second Amendment. But he's been, complaining about the press, complaining about moving here, complaining about, everything under the sun. They were in a high-speed chase, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. They're harassed by people are mean to them online. All he has done is complain. So embracing being an American and the freedom that comes with that, and as an American, I can say it is quite remarkable, and we are quite fortunate to be here. Leaning in to the wonderful things of your life, leaning into the gifts that the universe has bestowed upon you, leaning into the amazing manifestations that you have created, that will attract more into your life. And that's something that Harry is not in tune with right now. And I do think that Kyle Bolia is someone who is going to bring that to the fore. He's going to recommend that we look to the blessings that we have. Under the surface, I think he is going to realize there's not a whole lot of material to work with in terms of Harry as a person, as a celebrity, as a talking head, someone who represents anyone. He really represents, again, this microculture of the royal family, the monarchy, the British monarchy. We can't really resonate with him because his experience is so incredibly different from ours. Even though he, has had challenges. I mean, apparently it's like 85% of families are dysfunctional in some fashion. There's no perfect family. He's got to stop complaining about it. We need to be grateful for the food we put in our mouth. We need to be grateful for the lights that run. We need to be grateful for the internet, the World Wide Web that is bringing this to you, the Wi-Fi that's bringing this exact video to you. We need to be grateful for those things. And I think Kyle is going to really kind of lay it out. I don't know what kind of family Kyle came from, but I'm getting the sense that at some point there was a low point where there was some lack there. And he is going to say, really, we need to embrace this. We need to embrace how fortunate you were, and how fortunate you are on top of that to be a part of the American system, not the American dream so much, but the American system. That will put him in a much more interesting position. People will start to like him. We see Harry dressed in red, white, and blue and coming out, getting his citizenship, even though he has to renounce that princely title, all of his titles that he has. I think we're going to see a different perspective of him if he really embraces being an American. And I'm not talking about like going to rodeos with an Australian jackaroo hat on. He needs to embrace being an American. I want to see a Budweiser in his hand, quite frankly. So let's see. I think, bringing him down to being like a normal American immigrant, it's going to be a trick. How's it going to work? Let's see how it's going to work. This is what Kyle wants, what Kyle needs, what Kyle gets. Oh, it doesn't look like that's going to work. What he wants is for Harry to break away from the royal family. He absolutely is going to say, this is your key. If you say, I am done, I'm going to walk away. I know we talked about this in the Anderson Cooper interview, and Harry said, well, what difference would it make? It would make a difference in his PR if he renounced his titles, if he declared himself 100% an American citizen, and he went through it in the proper channels. It is going to change people's perspective of him. As an American, I kind of don't want to get stuck with them, but I do think that this is the course that they're going to go through. What we need is for him to become a regular person and to not rely on funding from various governments, monarchies, families. He needs to step away. He needs to not take the money anymore. And he needs to not say things like he did on Oprah. I was financially cut off, when in fact he was not. He was just cut off from a lot of money. He still got more money than most families would need to survive. So, again, the microcosm, the micro culture coming from the royal family, $10 million a year is barely scraping by. $1 million a year is poverty level for them. So, really that thinking needs to be changed. And that's only something that Harry can do. I don't know if Kyle's going to be able, Mr. Bolia is going to be able to, I love saying his name now, Kyle Bolia. I hope I'm saying it right. Bulia, maybe. So I don't know if he's going to be very successful at that, because here what we get is we get no success. It's not going to happen. I think the fear of being destitute, again, living in a $14 million mansion with $1 million a year coming in, he's not going to be able to cover those bills. So eventually the bottom is going to fall out. He's kind of upside down on all of his stuff at the moment. So we will have to see how that rolls out. So let's see what what his strategy is for Meghan. Let's see what his strategy is for Meghan here in the United States. Because I'm feeling that they are trying to repair the exit relationship here in the United States and craft an entrance plan for going back to the United Kingdom. So what is he going to do for Meghan? She has to look at the benefits that she had. He wants her locked up. Again, wants her to disappear for now, enjoy what she has. Oh, here's something interesting. Enjoy what she has and to mind the pennies. Okay. So his feeling is, we're in this gorgeous home, allegedly, and you should just be, documenting your children's summer. This summer should be the summer of fun for you guys. If you watched mine and Thor Sandalwood's featurette on the Psychic News Report, we did do a featurette about the protests that are going on. So we are wondering if this is going to be a summer of rage. I think we are going to see some heated information regarding Palestine and Israel. So you can go check that video out. I can put a link in the description for that as well. But, this is really going to be, hey, I'm focused on my children. I am being a good mother. I am really trying to make them have as much fun as possible for the summer. And I remember the summers with my kids when they were little and we lived at the beach, and I would get them up at, 6 o'clock in the morning. My kids are early risers, or they were when they were younger. And we would go to the beach bright and early, and we'd see all the lifeguards there as they were working out and setting up. And I have so many pictures on my social media of my kids on the beach as the sun is basically just coming up. And then we would be done by the beach, at the beach by 11 o'clock. And we would pack it up and we'd go home and we'd have lunch just as all the tourists were getting there. And then we would go and spend the rest of the day at the house, or we'd go visit with my mom and go to her pool, or we'd visit with friends. That would be the rest of our day. We'd do art crafts out in the yard. So, that kind of stuff, documenting that on her social media, I think is really going to be very, very critical to repairing this image and to removing that mystery of when and where are these kids? Who are these kids? Do they exist? There's too many questions about that. So I don't think she's going to be warm to this, but I do think that this is the strategy that's going to be offered. So I think there's going to be a lot of conflict about it. There's going to be this whole, I don't want my children. And honestly, I think this whole battle of presenting the children, serving them up on a silver platter, really has become almost a memorized script at this point. I don't think that they really are as worried about that as they want us to think. I think it is really just a mantra at this point. Again, where you put your focus, energy will grow. And I think that they've kind of grown this paranoia on the inside. So, this sneaky snacker from my girlfriend Alicia Wicker. If you're not a fan, go over and check her channel out. It's awesome. But this shady McShadester, this 7 of Swords here, I think we're going to find out that some of this expenditure is going in a different direction. I think he's going to find that out. Like there's going to be, well, I need this money instead of conserving. I think we're going to find out that we need certain things. She's going to be demanding them and sometimes buying those things without checking in. Even though PR is not a part of the financing, they're going to be aware of the finances and the money that comes in and the money that goes out. So they are going to be aware. The powers that be are going to be saying, hey, we need to clean up the PR on this particular thing because we are bleeding money. No one's buying this stupid jam. No one's signing up for the website. No one's signing up for the Instagram. We need to get going on this. So how is it going to work? How is his strategy going to work with the Meghan? What he wants her to stop talking, what he needs, and what he gets. It's going to take a long time to convince her that this is the direction that they need to go. So he wants her to be quiet. He wants her to stand down for a bit. He needs her to do this so that they can resurrect. When we get the death card, we're talking about change and resurrection. So this is what we need to do. We need to move forward and create a new person. And then over here, it's going to take some time. He's going to have to take his time with it. So he's going to have to be extremely patient. So is this going to help at all for the two of them? Let's look. How successful is Kyle going to be? I know I said before he may ruffle some feathers and possibly lose his job, but let's see. Is he going to be successful? Is he going to be successful at this? No, I don't think so. I think he's got ideas that may work. I think he's got ideas that potentially could correct some of this course, but I don't think it's going to work. So that is unfortunate. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on this. We'll have to see what goes on in the future in the Sussex PR camp. But I appreciate you watching this video and enjoying my reading on this. I do hope that if you're not subscribed, you will consider it. I do know that according to my analytics, only 40% of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. That was kind of shocking to me. I really thought that, most of the watchers were engaging in comments and people that I know and see in the comments all the time. So I'm very surprised that there's some of you out there that are secret that I don't know about. But as always, I hope you're having an amazing day. Please go back and look at video 1, the part 1 of this, if you'd like to see what's going to happen with Charlie Gibson, the UK portion of their PR. But as always, thank you so much for being here. If you would like your own magical reading with me, I do have a variety of readings that are available through the link in the description of this video. You can get a 12-month reading. It's an hour-and-a-half reading. It's live with me. You get to ask questions. We do it through Zoom or Google Meet or even Facebook Messenger, whatever platform you would like. We also have a 1-hour reading, and there's a discounted 1-hour reading if you are interested in having some of my students observe the reading, and they can participate at the end if you request it. But I also have a new section of my 12-week tarot class starting in June. So if you have any interest in that, you can always email me at FortuneCookiesTarot@gmail.com. But as always, I hope you guys are having an amazing, magical day, and I will see you all soon.